I felt like I lifted the leg up multiple times, but it just sunk into the muscle at the front and it was badly compromised. And then Dustin had good solid defense as well. So when I was pressing forward with the shots, he was defending well. It is what it is. He fought a hell of a fight, and that's it. What can you do? I'm happy for him.
That just shows you what a cracker Dustin Poirier is. The fact that Max Holloway, who beats the shit out of Calvin Kattar and says, I'm the best boxer in the UFC, and Dustin's like, hold on,
Dustin
son.
says, hold my hot sauce.
Do you not remember just went down just a few months ago?
Dude, just hold on here.
Do you think that these problems, you're creating some of these problems, whether you realize it or not, you know?
Right.
You see it with fighters.
Yeah.
You know, and you really see it with fighters when they start to lose.
Ooh,
sometimes
yeah.
they get in this head spiral and they're never the same again, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes fighters will lose like Anderson Silva loses one fight to Chris Weidman clowning around, right? He gets KO'd in a way where everybody's mocking him and making fun of him, and literally doesn't win any fights after that. Won one decision to Derek Brunson for years and years and years. It's crazy.
Do you think
it just happens like that?
Do you think that could possibly be what happens to Conor, or no? I was with his brother and the celebration we had.
Dustin's brother.
Yeah, Dustin's brother. Sorry, Dustin's brother, Jimmy. And I was in Lafayette with the whole family and went out on the swamps during the day and went wild oyster mushroom hunting and grilled those up and ate them.
Dustin is a different person.
Yeah.
He's a different person than he was when they first fought. Conor's a different person too, but I don't think he's the same animal that he was back then, you know? And also their strategies are different. Like someone could say like, oh, it's tough to be a savage and you're waking up in silk sheets. Yeah, he fought well in the beginning.
He did in the first round.
He fought well. He landed good shots, and Dustin admitted there was one time where he was caught and he was in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
But the strategy of those low kicks, Conor has that wide stance, and he puts a lot of weight on that front leg, and he did not seem to have an answer for those low kicks. And that is just a new element of the game that seems unstoppable because you can only take a couple. You know, Khabib was saying that when he fought Justin Gaethje, that those low kicks were as hard as he'd ever been hit before. And he, you know, even he probably recognized he couldn't take too many of those.
I told Jimmy, Dustin's brother, after the first round, I go, he just gave it away to Dustin and to Mike Brown. They're going to stay on that calf kick. They already knew it was working, but he didn't sit down in between rounds. He didn't want it to fill back up and then
I noticed he didn't sit down either.
He didn't sit. And I'm like, that's
damaged.
Him. Yeah, it's damaged. He just gave it away. Keep going after that leg.
Well, I mean, it was obvious anyway. Yeah. I mean, he kept trying to grab the leg after he got kicked. He wasn't checking it. And when he was checking, he wasn't turning it out.
Right.
So he was still taking it on the meat of the leg. So even if you lift your leg up, if you're checking those low calf kicks, they're still hitting the meat.
Yep.
It's a terrible way to go.
Yeah,
because your nerves just shut down.
Oof. Yeah, I've had a couple of those before, and they're brutal. And I'm curious because I've been talking with some of Manny's team who's donating to us, and some of his closest guys as executive director, and they're like, man, they were really looking forward to maybe the Manny fight and the Conor McGregor fight happening.
That shit
but now they said that his stocks come down a lot in boxing after being knocked out by Dustin. But then John Kavanaugh saying, well, if they don't get the rematch with Dustin Poirier, then he's just going to go over and fight in boxing now.
No.
But I was thinking, coming off of that loss, I don't think that John Kavanaugh is being smart there with saying he's going straight into boxing.
But he's just not going to get the fight.
Right.
It's not going to be valuable.
Right.
It's not like it was before. With Conor, if Conor wanted to take that fight before he fought Dustin Poirier, it'd be worth a lot of money. After he knocked out Cowboy, it's a valuable fight.
Yeah.
But coming off a bad loss like that and a loss where he got KO'd, no, it's not. That fight's not happening. It's also like he needs a redemption. And here's the thing about
this is the first time he's been knocked
redemption.
out, right?
Yes.
Like actually knocked out.
Yes, in the UFC.
Right.
Like you can't make a real good argument for a third fight. Because first of all, there's great fights for Dustin, right? There's a rematch with Justin Gaethje, which was a much closer fight. And that was when Justin Gaethje was fighting in a different way. Justin Gaethje was fighting much more reckless, right? There's the fight. I mean, there's the Chandler fight, which they're trying to push for right away, which it's tough to make that argument when, you know, you've got Charles Oliveira, who I think is maybe the most talented guy in the division. Charles Oliveira might beat them all. I mean, Oliveira
He's really
versus, if you wanted to be a purist, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin is the fight to make, because you got Oliveira who just destroyed Tony Ferguson, and then you got Dustin who just destroyed Conor McGregor. That's the fight. Let's have that fight for the interim belt or for the new belt.
The new belt.
Because if Khabib really does decide that's a wrap, maybe he is deciding that's a wrap. Maybe, Dana said that he wasn't sure and that he needed to see something spectacular, but Khabib said, no, that's not what I said. I'm done.
Yeah.
So I think Khabib's probably done. If Dustin fights Charles Oliveira and then Conor fights Michael Chandler, what are the odds that Conor beats Michael Chandler? I think Michael Chandler is a favorite in that fight.
100%.
Yeah, and which is very dangerous for your money. If you want to make a lot of money, what you do is you allow Conor to have some time off. You figure out a way to market this in a way that you explain a way that Conor could figure out a way to beat Dustin.
Good luck.
Good luck. He did beat him in the first fight, and he did rock him in the second fight. And Dustin actually admitted there was one point in the first round where he was hurt, and he was like, if Conor followed up, I might have been in trouble. But that might be Dustin also saying, like, I would like that rematch.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
And he also might want that rematch.
I think you got to look at
that rematch.
And this pains me to say this. I think you got to take Conor out of the equation. He's out. He lost.
Let me throw one more variable.
Go ahead.
The COVID restrictions get lifted. Dublin, Ireland, soccer stadium.
No, hear me out here, dude. And it pains me to say this. I love where your head's at.
Well, Conor versus Nate Diaz is an excellent option. It's an excellent option because that doesn't offend anyone like myself who's
They
a
both
purist.
have time off.
Yep. Give him some time off. It doesn't offend anyone. And Nate is not the kind of kicker that Dustin is. He's much more of a boxer. It falls into Conor's wheelhouse more. And Nate is also insanely durable. And Nate also has a finish over Conor. Conor does not have a finish over Nate
And
Diaz.
at 55 is where this thing should be settled.
Yes.
And you do that in Dublin,
55.
but they're out of the conversation of title. Title's Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler.
Yeah, I'll certainly regroup. I'll regroup and pick myself up, you know what I mean? Get up off the floor and go again, and that's it. Styles make fights. There's many great stylistic matchups out there. Myself and Dustin are 1-1. Myself and Nate are 1-1. There's many good matchups for me, and I'll adopt a different approach for the trilogy, I feel, with Dustin, because, that those leg kicks are not to be messed with, you know what I mean? That calf kick, the low calf kick, I've never experienced that, and it was a good one. So it's not that I haven't got the style in me to switch it up and keep that at bay. And I've a lot more weapons. I didn't get the show. It wasn't my night. It wasn't a great night, but again, no excuses. Hats off, and regroup and pick myself up. I look forward to going back now, seeing the kids, and just taking the licks, man. It's a bastard of a game. But it is what it is. I there's not a mark on my face. I wasn't rattled with anything. It's just I had no leg, and fair fucking play to him. We fought well, and yeah, I look forward to watching it back.